We're going to have Mr. Arnold Gekonge, who's the Executive Director of the Champions for SDGs Youth. He's going to give us some opening remarks, and Arnold represents the youth to a large extent. So to begin, Arnold, I don't know if you're still a Gen Z. Are you still a Gen Z or you're just a youth? Nowadays, there's no distinction, but let's wait and hear from Mr. Arnold Gekonge. Karibu sana.
Thank you very much. Frederick the Great once said, "What is the good of experience if you do not reflect?" And this is a question for all of us, and the reason why we have gathered today, to reflect on the year, the successes we've had, the challenges, and recommendations of what we could do better in the coming year. The honorable members of parliament present, national government officials, representatives from the Council of Governors and the county governments, representatives from the County Assemblies Forum, representatives from the United Nations and the various agencies, development partners, representatives of fellow civil society organizations present, the media, academia, representatives of fellow youth organizations present, distinguished colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, all protocol observed, good morning. Today, I am honored to stand before you and to highlight the youth engagements that we've had over the years as far as implementation and review of the SDGs is concerned. I'm also grateful to the key partners, including the Interagency Technical Working Committee that has made this possible in the past years and today, and all the various organizations that are present here. 5 years ago, I participated in a workshop that was empowering youth on communicating on sustainable development matters. And during that session, the facilitator asked for a participant who could give a good reason why they deserve to be rewarded with an SDGs booklet. I looked inside the room and I realized I was the youngest then. And I let 2 colleagues speak, and I was the third and last to speak. I gave the reason that since I'm the youngest in the room, I deserve that booklet to be able to implement those goals by 2030. And coincidentally, 2030 is the year when I'll turn 35. So I consider the SDGs work that is meant for me. I earned that booklet, and months later, after shelving it for a while and being disappointed by an internship and various other challenges, I looked through that booklet and I found the issues discussed therein quite current. And I asked myself, what can I do about this development agenda, the SDGs? I brought together my 3 friends. We sat on the grass somewhere and spoke about it. And since then, we have organized over 50 SDGs information sessions, youth dialogues, and conferences in collaboration with various partners inside here and outside the room to reach young people with SDGs information, and also to sensitize them on the importance of participating in the review process. As you might all know, this year Kenya developed a voluntary national report, which shows how we are doing in terms of SDGs. So recently we hosted a pre-conference in preparation for this conference that we have today. And later in the afternoon, we'll be able to share with you the outcomes of that pre-conference. And just to highlight that we need to foster partnerships with youth organizations and continue working closely, mentoring the young people to ensure that we effectively participate in sustainable development processes, not only in our country, but in our continent and the globe. As you know, Kenya is always ahead and stands out in many spaces that we've all engaged in, and we have to keep that as that. So I encourage us all to think globally, but take action locally. Let us go to the various counties and reach out to the stakeholders within those communities and engage them actively in implementing the Sustainable Development Goals. One challenge that my colleagues have always highlighted is that many things happen in cities, in Nairobi, in Mombasa, in Kisumu, in Nakuru. But what about those areas like the ASALs, those hard-to-reach areas where young people and other stakeholders do not have access to technology or internet? We need to move towards ensuring that we reach those left behind. And as you know, one of the important principles of the SDGs is leave no one behind. It's time to walk the talk. I also recognize that all stakeholders are important in this process, but I have to mention the youth, who are very critical in this process in the remaining years. Benjamin Franklin once said, "Well done is better than well said." So once we leave this conference, I encourage us all to do things, to take action. Many at times will be told, very well spoken, that was very well highlighted. Now we need to move to very well done. And that is a call to action to each and every one of us here today. I'll leave it at this, but I invite us all to join us again in the afternoon, where we'll share more highlights of what other young people across the country are saying about the SDGs. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Arnold. And before you go, just mention how many, I heard you mention a number of forums that you've held for the youth. Just repeat that.
We've held over 50 information sessions that are topical on various issues of the SDGs, notably climate, education, health, and also general sessions to sensitize youth on SDGs, and also the youth pre-conferences on the SDGs. If you allow me, I forgot to introduce myself. So my name is Arnold Gekonge. I'm the Executive Director for Champions for SDGs Youth. I am a 2023 Global Peace Foundation President's Fellow. I'm also a 2023 Africa United Nations Youth Fellow. I am an alumni of the Young African Leaders Initiative, Regional Learning Center, East Africa. And I'm also an Unleash Innovation Lab for SDGs Talent for 2019.
Let's clap for him. And we need to celebrate achievements when we hear them.